Thank y'all for joining me this morning. This morning, I just want to touch real quick on binding agreement dates. There always seems to be confusion about what is the binding agreement date. What date goes at the bottom of the contract signature page, right? And what constitutes a binding agreement. All right, the definition is really easy, so I don't really know why there's that much confusion. When the last party signs the contract and it is delivered back to the other side, that delivery is the binding agreement. All right? So if you are on the buy side, you present an offer today at 5 o'clock, right? The seller signs it and the agent delivers it back to you at 11:30 at night. Tonight, which is the 30th, right? Tomorrow, the 31st, you wake up and you see this because I'm not up at 11:30, right? The binding agreement date is the 30th, not the 31st when you saw it, right? So there always seems to be confusion on that. And then what happens is so the seller sends it back to you last night or tonight, and then tomorrow you fill in the binding agreement date with today. What does that make that the binding agreement date that you put the 21st in there? Or they send it back to you and they say, you need to fill in the binding agreement date and send it back to me, right? That kind of goes both ways, happens all the time, right? I will tell you this right now on camera, it'll be recorded. That little box below the signature line of the contract is not a part of the contract, all right? So just because that date is in there doesn't mean that is the actual legal binding agreement date, right? It is a notification. It is a notice that this is, and it keeps all parties on the same page. That's why the help desk, we send out the opening letters saying, we believe this is the binding agreement date. Let us know if there's conflict, if we're not certain, right? Because all of your timelines go based off the binding agreement date, and we want everybody to be on the same page. Now, if it comes in and you put in the tomorrow as the binding agreement date, right? And everybody moves forward as though tomorrow is the binding agreement date, there's an argument that can be made that, well, everybody was under the impression that the 31st was the binding agreement date. That's an argument, but will it stand up in a court of law? No. The binding agreement date, that listing agent says, here's the email where I sent it to Ms. Heathergale, right? At 11:30 at night on the 30th, that email transmission constitutes notice to you. So that makes it the 30th is the binding agreement date. And if you get in front of a judge, they're going to say the 30th and all of that good stuff, right? So binding agreement dates. Another way you can clarify it outside of our opening letters is there's a binding agreement notification form that can be signed by the buyer and seller to make sure that they understand what all the important dates are in the contract. It's not a required document, but you can definitely get that. Make sense? All right. Well, now that we're done talking about binding agreement dates, do y'all have any questions in general? Questions about business? Questions about license law? Questions about contracts? Anything? Well, I got time. Now is the time. Mr. Miguel, you're thinking too hard. Nothing? Not today?
I don't know if this is,
Mr. Atticus, go ahead.
a client who's is dealing with a trust and they need to get a medallion signature from their bank before they can transfer everything into their account. But they want to take it in installments, not all at one lump sum, so they don't have to pay lump sum taxes. I don't know if this is something
That sounds like a CPA type question as far as whether or not they're going to have to pay lump sum taxes on a trust and all of that. So the question you're asking is will they have to pay taxes or
how can they get the medallion signature?
How can they get the medallion signature?
They're getting, they've been in this probate for 2 years, and so they're trying to figure out how to get it. The bank keeps telling them one thing and another thing, that they have to take it in a lump sum as opposed to in
Yeah, that is definitely a question for a probate attorney, for the probate attorney that's working with them and the bank, as well as the judge will have some say in it. That's presiding over the probate, right? Mr. Miguel?
So I have a client that wants to list, and he's thinking that 15, but he says more or less, like
A
two
client
things
that
before
wants to list their house,
on the 15th.
but they don't know what day they want it to go live on the market.
Yeah, well, not to like don't want to go, like more like they don't know
When it's going to be
ready
complete.
according to, like, what
So
they
you're
want.
trying to do a coming soon, but you don't have an exact deadline.
Yeah, so I
All
want
right.
to send the papers to him and say, okay, let's just sign this. We'll go on
Mm-hmm.
the 15th, but then
All right, so that'd be your marketing commencement date. So how the rules work with that is when you get your listing agreement signed, there is your list start date, which would be the day that they signed, right? Your list expiration date, and then there's a marketing commencement date in there. For that, you would put, he said June 15th, more or less. I would put a full 30 days you can do as coming soon in the MLS system. So I would put it out further to the full 30 days and tell your seller, we have to list by this date. We can always list sooner. We can always set it active sooner. But we can't go past that 30-day timeline.
be July 15th.
July 15th?
Right.
You said June 15th, so
No, June 15th, but
You're
then
talking 30 days.
30 days. That was
no,
30
30 days from the date the agreement's signed, which would be today. So
Oh,
it would be June
Oh, okay.
29th,
But
because there's
doesn't that
31
have an
days.
impact on your days on market?
Yeah.
Negative. When we put it in the MLS, we put the list start date as the marketing commencement date. Unless you do the coming soon, in which case I don't think coming soon impacts that at all. It'll show coming soon, and then once it goes live, that's your active date in the MLS. Because coming soons aren't advertised out to the world yet. It's just to let other agents know that you have this property coming to the market soon. Right? And again, coming soon stuff, don't show, don't allow showings, don't do it. Fines and penalties and all that stuff are insane, right?
Somebody posted the other day about how it was coming soon. Let me know if you want to come by and see it before it goes active. And I was like, wow, you're a real estate agent advertising this everywhere.
Yep.
Like,
And you should have said, and you know that the first time that you get caught with that, it's a $500 fine, no big deal. But 30 days loss of your super key access.
oh no, that's way worse.
$500, that's, yeah, I'll take that risk all day, right? But to lose access to Supra for 30 days, you can't show a house, open a lockbox, do anything for 30 days. Then it's 60 days and $1,000 fine is the second one, and then the third one is like $15,000 and 90 days, and a fourth is permanent. So just not even worth it, right? So don't show coming soons, and don't allow people to show your coming soon listings. It goes both sides. Don't do it and don't allow it. It goes to both agents. Will be guilty, 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 and in trouble. Right?
No, it's the listing agent.
If you have it coming soon and another agent calls you for information about it?
You can give them information about it. Yep. You just cannot show it, accept offers, do all that stuff. Right? All right. Other questions? No, nothing? All right, well, we'll go get it then.